Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we're going to go through 15 knives with a pop of color. Starting the list off, we have the TWOSUN TS385 in 14C 28N steel, and then it has multicolored G10 for the pop of color. It has a Persian blade shape, trailing point shaped blade with a stone-washed finish, titanium frame lock with a titanium milled pocket clip and backspacer, and then it is a front flipping action with a super snappy detent, somewhat of a smaller size knife, but definitely has a pop of color. Next, we have the Kizer Critical Mini. Now this is the new version. That's 154 cm and it's only thumb stud action. The original one was a flipper. This one takes away the flipper and adds thumb studs, and then the steel is 154 cm instead of 3V. And the pop of color is a beautiful red. It's aluminum actually. So we have aluminum pivot collar, then an aluminum backspacer that gives you a pop of red from your knife. Looks really good, especially if you have, red EDC items. It's definitely one to add to your collection because you don't get a lot of red. I mean, you do, but it's usually in G10 more so than in titanium and aluminum and things like that. Next, we have the Wee Beacon. Now this one, I mean, most of these knives come in different options. This one definitely comes in different options. This one is the blue one. Now it's not just a pop of color, it is all colored. It is all blue with blue titanium hardware. Fantastic flipping action, 20 CV steel, extremely smooth. You do have multiple forms of deployment with the fuller, but it's a slim, good looking EDC knife. It is a simple design, and in this case, the blue version, we have a beautiful stone wash over the blue anodization that looks really good, and it adds a little sparkle to it when it's playing with the light. But yeah, fantastic knife. I really like the Wee Beacon. Next, the KANSEPT Hazakura. Now this one, just like a lot of these, comes in many different options. This one is the one with the Damascus and the Timascus inlay. And oh, it looks so good. It's such a good looking knife. The amount of color is perfect. Now, yes, I do wish they would have added a Timascus clip, but even just the inlay, it looks good. It plays with the light really good. Then you have this beautiful Damascus that KANSEPT uses, which is a 9CR powdered Damascus, and they do a pretty good job with it, and it looks really good next to the titanium frame lock with that beautiful inlay. And yeah, nice and slim, very simple, great flipping action. It is a Tanto. But like I said, they do have other versions of this. We're actually giving away a version right now, a carbon fiber liner lock version. So lots of different options with the Hazakura, but somewhat of a Japanese style Tanto or knife in general. Next, sticking with the KANSEPTs, we have the KANSEPT PRETATOUT. Another one has this beautiful, the same Damascus as the Hazakura. Beautiful. It's like a raindrop Damascus. I don't know, exactly what they call it, or at least I forget, but I know it's a 9CR powdered steel Damascus. And then we have the pop of Timascus on the clip. Oh, it looks so good. They put a blue pivot collar around the pivot that also helps make it pop. The whole thing just stands out really good. It's a good looking knife. Now this also comes in a Tanto version and a liner lock version, but this case, this one with the Timascus clip is a titanium frame lock, flipper with thumb studs, and a fuller. So lots of ways to deploy the knife. It is nice and comfortable in the hand. It's a great size, great looking knife. Yeah, it definitely pops. Next, The Kizer Drop Bear. Now, this is a newly released knife. It has 154 cm steel, somewhat of a Spanish spear point or a modified spear point, aluminum scales that are very easy to take off and get to the locking system, which is their clutch lock, basically an Axis style lock that's adjustable, so you can adjust the tension, and then they send different size springs, so you can even, you know, swap out your Omega springs. But the pop of color is, or are, these beautiful purple thumb studs. You can see where I hit one of mine, being dumb. But anyways, good looking knife. I love this knife a lot. Not only is it a great EDC knife, great EDC carry, great size, but it's a good looking knife. It does come in a couple different options as well. Next, when I recently got the MIGURON, well, I've had the PAGOS for a while, but this is the new PAGOS, the PAGOS 2. Super sleek, very simple, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's a straightforward, simple, very clean design with a little pop of color with the blue, and it's subtle. It's not a bright blue. It's kind of a sky blue or baby blue, but then we have the bronzish or the gold pivot collar that goes around the pivot. But other than that, that's the only pop of color on the entire knife. But it's subtle, but it looks good, especially if you already have EDC items that match that. And it has a front flipping action, M390 steel, and thumb studs. The micro milling on the handle also brings some attention to the scales because it is such a simple looking knife, but when you really look at it, you know, it's got a lot of details. Next is the Olamic Whippersnapper. Now this knife is known for its pops of colors because you can get it in any different color or option you can think of. There are so many different versions of this. They even recently put out a bolster lock version, but there's different blade shapes. You can get different milling patterns on the scales, different colors, so many different options. It's endless. This one is an M390 steel, beautiful sheep's foot blade with a blasted titanium frame lock with a pop of green. It has holes that are polished and then anodized, a green pivot collar, and a full green titanium backspacer. Green titanium hardware, and the green kind of has hints of purples and blues in it too. It looks really good. But the Olamic Whippersnapper it's an awesome EDC knife. I absolutely love the Whippersnapper, and it looks good. Next, we have the Kitefin. Now, we're going to talk about the other options. I will talk about the one I have, but there are a ton of options with this that have a really cool anodized milling pattern in the scales where it's like a spiral milling all throughout the scales where they anodize the actual milling, and it looks so good. This one, the one I have, is the titanium. They're all titanium frame locks, but it's the black titanium frame lock one with the bronzed hardware and a little bit of milling in the clip, but they have the titanium hardware that is bronzed, so it has a gold effect to it. So it's black and gold. The knife itself, S35VN, super thin, very deep hollow grind. This thing is a mega slicer, but it's also a very lightweight EDC knife, so it's great that it does come so slicey. You know, because it's not made for hard use. It's made for more precision work or light duty cutting. And boy, does it cut good. Beautiful hollow grind. Next, the Real Steel BRUNS. Now, this one also comes in a few different options. It is a front flipper only, but it has these triangle triangle shapes or these shapes cut out in the handle that are polished and then anodized, and they play with the light so much. You see all different colors. There's really not just one color. It's somewhat of mostly like a bronzish, but you get lots of pinks, you get blues, you get all different purples, all different colors. Even the lock bar cutout is polished right there and anodized. Lots of little details on this knife. VG10 steel, front flipping action, drop point blade, and it is a very neutral handled knife. It is just a straightforward handle, so it's going to be comfortable in just about every grip. But it is a knife with a little bit of style, pop, and a little bit of artisticness, if that's a word, to it. Good looking though. Definitely is eye-catching. Next, we have the Degnan design, the Caviso Degnan design rose. And it is a beautiful, beautiful purple and carbon fiber. You can get it in blue. This one is the purple. Cross-cut section of carbon fiber on the back spacer. Titanium clip. Spear point blade with a hollow grind. S35 VN blade steel. Very smooth. The flipping action is amazing. It has an amazing flipper. Very snappy, very comfortable. Somewhat of a lightweight dagger style knife. It is a little bit smaller, but for regular EDC use, it's going to be great. It's not double-edged. It only is single-edged, so you don't have to worry about the spine. And yeah, nice and slim, but nice purple anodization on it that makes it pop. Then we have also the Caviso Keen. This is the new one. The new one's even better than the last one because now we have all titanium hardware that's anodized the same color as the scales, and we have the logo taken off with a stone washed put on it. The steel, the blade steel is S35 VN, and they hit it. So basically, no matter if it's open or closed, there's no logos whatsoever except for the Ray Laccanico design on the spine because it is a Ray Laccanico design. But the blue looks really, really good. Great flipping action. This to me it's one of the best EDC knives you can get. It's basic, it's simple, but that's what makes it so good. The ergos are super neutral, spear point blade, nice and slicey, good, you know, nice and comfortable in the hand, and it has premium materials, but just done extremely, extremely well. And the price is pretty good on it. Next, we have the WE Press Check. Now, the WE Press Check, man, it comes in two different blade shapes, and then we have two different handle material colors. You can get all black, or you can get that pop. If you want that pop of blue, you can get the blue with it has black G10 with blue edges and a blue pivot collar. It is 20 CV steel with a reverse flicking fuller and flipping action. Very, very snappy. Not a large knife, more of a medium-sized knife with a harpoon blade shape, or you can get it in the recurved Tonto version. So there is a couple different options. You have a little bit of a skull basher for a backspacer or an attitude adjuster. Very smooth on the drop. But yeah, it's a good looking knife. That is one thing about it. It's a damn good looking knife. The blue, like I said, really catches the eye, you know, and gets it a little bit more attention and makes it to where if you do have a blue EDC or an EDC with a little bit of pop of blue, this is a great addition to look good with your EDC dump. And speaking of a little pop of blue, there always is the Benchmade Bugout with blue back spacers and blue thumb studs. Now, when you get the regular option, it comes blue with blue FRN scales, but you can always switch it and get new scales of whatever material or color you want because there's so many options out there. And then you can still keep your pop of blue from your back spacers and your thumb studs. USA made knife, thumb stud action. S30V with the access lock. Great, great knife. Super duper lightweight. Next, the JACKWOLF knives. Now, JACKWOLF has all different kinds of knives, and some of them come, or most of them come, with a fat carbon fiber version, so you can get a pop of color. The newest one out is the Vampire, and the Vampire comes in a blood red fat carbon fiber, or you can get it in other options as well. But the JACKWOLF knives always come with a version that has a pop of color. He's always coming out with new versions, and it's a slip joint that is hard to beat. It really is, regardless which one it is. They're all so good, and yeah, I love them all. And yeah, the new version right now that you can get, I believe still right now, is the Vampire, depending on when you're watching this. Next, the Kubey Vagrant with a pop of blue again. Pops of blue is pretty much the easiest one to go with, and it always looks good next to black or, you know, metal, which is gray. But in this case, it's a light blue with a nice stonewash, so it's not too much pop, just that little bit of pop of blue from the pivot and the back spacer and the clip. The Kubey Vagrant does come in more budget-friendly options, G10 options. But this one is the titanium frame lock in AUS 10. This might be a discontinued one, but they did have other versions with S30V, and yeah, super solid knife. Not too big, not too small. Pretty much a great medium-sized knife with reverse flicking action only. And yeah, it definitely looks good with that little pop of blue. Now, getting into a couple micro knives, we have the Spyderco McBee. Now, the McBee originally does not come with a pop of color. However, you can go to McNee's website, and he makes custom scales for the McBee that you can buy. This one has a carved slate pattern that's anodized, different colors of grays, blues, and light purples, and it looks really good. It looks like a rocky pattern on your scale. CTS XHP. The Spyderco McBee is super small, but it is a little utility pocket knife or utility folder, titanium frame lock, and it is done very well. It's just very small. 2-finger knife or just a little pinch grip knife, but yeah, the blade actually cuts really good, and it's CTS XHP steel. And Spyderco does a really good job with their CTS XHP. And then the mini Corvid. This is the titanium frame lock version. It does not have a clip. It is a little 5th pocket knife. Titanium frame lock. It does have a steel lock bar insert and multiple deployments. You would be surprised how good these deployments work for such a little small knife. I can even reverse flick this little tiny sucker. It is only a 1.5 finger knife though. It is not even a 2-finger knife. More of a pinch grip, but it is very cool, and with its raindrop patterned titanium, it looks like it has raindrops on it in different colors, and it really plays with the light and looks really cool. But yeah, there you guys go. There is the list of a bunch of knives with some pop of color. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.